All right. I think we are live. So thank you for joining, Pella. So thank you everyone for joining us today for episode number 11 of the No Man's Sky Wonders Show. If you're joining for the first time or you're watching this, after it's been live, I really want to thank you for joining, and I'm gonna tell you a little bit, about this show. So this show is about, exploring No Man's Sky in VR while connecting with different community members of the No Man's Sky, big communities, the online community of the No Man's Sky. We try to, have some interesting discussions and interviews about, the people behind the avatars. And it has been a very interesting, journey so far. So I can't believe every time I'm actually making one more episode. I don't have any date when I'm planning stopping these episodes, but it still have been very fun. So we'll always provide some impressions, new impressions about different aspects of the game in PSVR 2, and we'll also do some exploration, a little bit of exploration, and a lot of base touring and tips and tricks about the game. Today is a special episode, and hi Blue, thank you for joining. Today is a special episode because today finally we're going to be able to do the grand opening of the No Man's Sky Wonders studio. This studio have been a gift from the Catinian Empire, and by Sparking Lane came to the show, and I really can't thank her and the Catinian Empire enough for helping me with this, because even so I am actually an engineer, I can't really build anything in No Man's Sky. My builds are very, very boring. So we're going to take a look to the new studio. And then it's also special because I have two completely different guests today. So I have, Joe Payne, who is one of the most active, community member in No Man's Sky on Twitter. I like to call him like the mysterious guy because pretty much no one know anything about him. He doesn't join any of the civilizations. He doesn't join multiplayer, but he's always there, trying to provide guidance to everyone and try to wander the galaxy and provide, a lot of tips and tricks and provide some, feedback and discussions on Twitter like all the time. And the second guest joining me for the second time, but hopefully today we're gonna be able to hear her voice because the first time we had some technical issues. If you guys don't know, my first few episodes in the show was very, very problematic. I had a lot of technical issues because I have never streamed before, and it's one of the most complex setup. So today, hopefully, we'll be able to hear her voice. So we'll have a sparkle rain, thinking violet, or as per her actual name, Kim, the legendary builder. And I have met quite a few, amazing builders in the show and in the game in general from different civilization. But, Kim is very unique because she built a lot of different kind of look and feel and shapes, So today she will gonna joining us and share with us some of her knowledge. And we will be touring, a couple of her bases additional to the studio. And that's the agenda for today. So Joe and Kim, thank you guys for joining me today, and thank you for being patient until I finish all of my rambling here. So how are you doing, guys?
Good. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks for being here. It's good.
Perfect. And we have a couple of folks in the chat, guys. If you have questions, for Kim or Joe, just say question, so that I can take your questions to them, and let's start. So this is first let me just provide some impressions about this slash planet. So This is the first time I think I have provided a view of a fully different lush planet. So this is a color shift planet, and it has this massive big planet ring view. I think, if Pella join us here one day, he will be able to take some fantastic photos, because the ring and the planet are like massive. It's behind this big mountain, so you can see them here, and in VR it just looks fantastic. This is a lot of trees here. It's one of the nicest planets I have seen. We are in Galaxy 39, but that's, I really like this planet, and that's why I requested the help of Cayman and the Ctilian Empire to build this studio here. So this is probably where we're gonna start most of the shows, and it's fully green. You see green flowers, very relaxing environment. I don't think there's any weather, rainstorm, or any kind of sentinels, or even any kind of predators. So moving through lush planets in VR is always very relaxing, especially if you turn off the difficulties and just make it a relaxing experience. Even so, if you logged it on, or we have high difficulty settings, this is still a very nice planet. You see these massive mountains up there, and behind it you see the rain coming on, and it have a lot of color shifting with the sun the whole day. We're gonna see if we'll be able to see some of these. Even the animals here look very interesting, with green, and pretty much everything here is green on this planet. So let's start with our guests for today, and let's go inside the studio. So this is one of the nicest studios that I have seen. I mean, one of the nicest build. And you see here we have already Kim and Joe inside. We're gonna go inside, and let me just
Whoa.
yeah, I'm gonna go inside for the first time. What do you see, Joe? This is the first time you see this.
Oh my God. It is amazing.
Yeah. I've seen this before, but still, I had trouble seeing it. I plan to open this few times, but I had some difficulty seeing it, probably because we had different, versions. But if you guys, take a look around the lightings and, how big it look. I mean, if you see my screen now on the stream, I'm just gonna move my head all the way up, and it reminds me a little bit of the church, correct? That we have before in the previous session when we had Max and Chimera Corp. Because there is a just massive amount of lightings, and you can actually see the clouds up there. So I can see the clouds from here, and I can see the color shifting also from here. Okay, so where do you guys want to sit? Because there is this area, and there's another area out there. I'm gonna be your guest, so I'm actually gonna jump here and offer you a couple of drinks. What do you guys prefer? What is your favorite drinks? What do you want to drink for today?
Are you guys buying?
Sure.
Okay, fine, Joe.
Hey, who's working behind the bar? That's what I want to know. That's cool.
Yeah.
I want a caramel latte.
I'm gonna prepare for you guys. Just take a seat out there and let me know. I actually
This is
can
a
put.
coffee shop.
Yeah, I can put my hands inside here, and I can feel it. And I cannot feel the actual cups, but I can put my hands and I can just simulate the feeling. So let's start with Kim, because ladies first. So Kim, why don't you introduce yourself to the folks who don't know a lot about you?
Okay, well, as you said, my real life name is Kim, and I'm from Austin, Texas, but now I live out near Atlanta, Georgia, on the eastern coast of the United States. Being Southern, I call everybody honey, which sometimes makes for some very funny confusion. And I absolutely love building in No Man's Sky.
Perfect. Unfortunately, I'm getting some tracking issues. I was able to sort this for the previous episode. I hope I'll be able to sort it for this one too. We'll have to see. I still have the exact same settings. Thank you for the introduction, and if you're lucky enough and have Kim as your friend, she may call you honey. So that's nice to hear. Joe, what about you, mysterious man? Why don't you introduce yourself a little bit to us? Man, take a seat here, correct? So you can enjoy your drink in the
Sorry, I was like running around here checking out everything.
Yeah. We'll let Kim give us a tour also here in a minute.
Okay, hang on. I'll just like run over here. Oh, hi, Kim. How are you?
Hello, take a seat.
There we go. Hey, yeah. So basically, I'm just like a regular guy on the west coast of Canada out here. I pretty much do not ever play in multiplayer, so this is pretty exciting for me. I'm learning a lot of new stuff. I usually play like just a regular normal mode. I only have like one save. Usually after expeditions and stuff like that, I always like delete those saves. So I'm really only playing through one save, and I would imagine I think I'm coming up really close to about 900 hours into the game.
Oh my god, 900 hours?
Yeah, I think I'm just about 890 or something like that. So yeah, I'm pretty close to like 1,000 hours. That's what I'm trying to get up to.
Wow.
Cool. When did you start?
Yeah, this was gonna be actually my actual question to both of you guys. When did you started playing No Man's Sky?
I am definitely like under a year for sure. I think I'm probably like about 10 or 11 months, I think.
Oh, okay. Under a year. Oh my god. I already think
sure.
I know you for almost a year.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. What about you, Kim?
Well, I don't remember exactly, but it was in the fall of 2020. So this year will make 3 years for me.
Oh, wow.
Hey, thank you for joining. I think I have had an issue a little bit with voice chat. So few people who may have joined and I was not able to get the ping, but I think I fixed this now. So thank you for joining. So Kim, how many hours you have clocked inside the game estimated? Do you know?
Oh, I have no idea. I don't ever check.
Yeah. Okay, so why don't you give us?
I have 15 saves going.
Oh yeah.
That is crazy. There is no way that I could possibly do that.
Yeah,
I have to write things down. I can't remember like which save has what.
Yeah. I think for the builders specifically, they used to have this. I actually the same question to Kim before, and the explanation is there is a lot of limitations on the number of bases that you can have, and the number of total items you can even put in one save. That's why builders will always have a lot of saves. So Kim, you want to tour us through this studio? Give us some tour a little bit about the areas around here before we can go to the first base.
Let's see. Well, you said you wanted a coffee shop, so I did that over here.
Yep.
Because, that's probably my favorite thing to build in the game. There's coffee shops all over the universe now.
Yeah.
And I thought it'd be fun, if it was at a portal, because that way you could just use it as a start point sometimes. I think my favorite thing I did in here was the lighting, because I used those new stone parts and wrapped them around some candelabra blooms, and it kind of made it look like
the lighting is cool.
Flowers. And then I did the bite beat cables, to connect them all to the ceiling. And so I like how that turned out.
I'm sorry, I'm totally amazed by people who can use the construction parts in new ways. Like that kind of like hanging wiring for the lights is just like, it's so simple, yet it's so beautiful.
Oh, thank you. Yeah.
It's really smart, Kim. Yeah, it's really smart.
Yay. And I hadn't ever built torches like this before, so that was fun. I figured there's figured out those trees looked pretty cool upside down like that. So, and I know there's no weather on this planet, but I thought it would be cool to have the portal enclosed.
I like how you're getting like the glass like the reflection on the floor too. That's super nice.
That is one reason why I use those roof pieces for windows, because I love the shadows it makes. Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
And they move across the floor, so it's kind of fun effect.
Yeah, it's really smart.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, it's very wonderful to look to this, and Joe, if you look to this and you think it's impressive, I cannot tell you how much more immersive when you see this in VR, especially in VR2. Now, if you guys see my review, yeah, the resolution is not the best yet, but when I don't move and I just look to fix it stuff, it looks amazing. I see new faces. Smirty, thank you for joining us today. So that's very interesting to see new folks. So Smirty, one of my friends, and I think she's completely new to the No Man's Sky community in general. But thank you for joining. Okay, I didn't see Max or Solar yet, so let's see if they are gonna join us. So
Ready for me to go to the next place?
sorry, come again?
Are you ready for me to go to the next place?
Yeah.
Yet?
Let's start with the first, with the first base. Kim is gonna go to the first first base. We're gonna see the traveler steampunk, the traveler merchant, and while Kim is doing this, I'm gonna have a couple of questions, for you, Joe, while we're getting ready. Correct? So,
Yeah.
what we need to join here through the anomaly. So let's go to the anomaly, and why don't you tell us a little bit about what's your favorite aspect of No Man's Sky? You clocked, I mean, in less than 1 year, huge amount of hours, correct? So
Yep.
it looks like you really love the game. So why can you tell us a little bit more? And if you guys see this color shifting in this planet, makes this new interceptor ship wonderful. I see the colors here with the color shifting, it just make it green, yellow. So let's go to the anomaly and join Kim, and you can talk us a little bit about No Man's Sky in general. What attracted you to the game, and what's your story about it, and what's your favorite part about it, especially that you never play multiplayer. So
Yeah,
little
you
bit
know
more.
what? I think I've always really loved space. Like I really like planets and spacecraft and that kind of stuff. And I really like science fiction a lot. So I was kind of looking for a science fiction game. And I'm pretty visually creative. Like I went to art school and I was like a graphic designer for a long period of time. And the other thing that I really liked about No Man's Sky is that I listened to like a lot of ambient or electronica music. So the soundtrack really played like a really strong part in me like enjoying No Man's Sky.
The soundtrack, I mean, this is interesting. So I love the soundtrack of No Man's Sky myself, but most of the people who play a lot of different games will always say that the No Man's Sky sound is minimum. So that's a very new aspect. I personally love how minimum correct the No Man's Sky sound, because it tried to focus mainly on the actual how do you say, the actual sounds of the planets, the trees, and there is still music there. But yeah, so you are a fan of science fiction, and that what what took you to the game. Actually, I should have. So I think it's a common aspect that pretty much everyone that I have talked to love sci-fi. This is a sci-fi game, so that's a common thing. But specifically, what do you mostly do, correct? What kept you going? Because there is two type of people who play No Man's Sky. People who just played for the first time, and then after maybe 30-40 hours they will get bored and they will say, you know what, this looks the same. But there are people who look to the details and they really love exploration, and they will just keep going. So I want to know a little bit more, because if you don't build a lot, then what is the other stuff that really attract you to the game?
Oh, I think that there's like tons of stuff within this game to be like really to keep you kind of like fascinated within the game. I mean, building is like a really big event, but I really like just blindly exploring from planet to planet. I would say that before the whole Interceptor update came in, my gameplay was just basically like coming into the anomaly here and ripping it up here to like the transporter. And I would just like totally base up different galaxies and then just purely explore in different galaxies. That's essentially what I was doing before the whole Interceptor update. Yeah.
Ah, nice. And art school, correct? That's also something very, interesting, because there is always a lot of, debate about the No Man's Sky art. Some people really love how it look like. It's very unique, correct? I personally love it. So it's good to know that even people who have formally joined art school love the art side of the game, correct? It's again, this thing is very debatable, but I think it's good. It's good to know. Kim, should we reach you? Are you ready? Are you ready? Should we join you now?
I had a little bit of trouble, and I'm still warping to the merchant, but I'm
system?
almost there.
Okay, no worries at all. So I believe that we have a little bit less audience for today, but again, hopefully we'll have more in the future. So Joe, is there any other games you regularly play additional to No Man's Sky?
Oh, I kind of like dabble in like a whole bunch of different games, but I find it really difficult. I don't know what it is with my brain, but just processing different buttons and different, I don't get that kind of like body memory of a lot of different games. So I try not to like play any more than like 2 or 3 games at one time. Otherwise, I'm just like confused all the time.
Yeah,
So-
because the controls are different for every single game.
Yeah. You are like me. I always try to stick to only 1 or 2 games most of the time. But what else are you playing? What's your second favorite game after No Man's Sky?
I am playing, like right now, I'm playing a Safari Dakar kind of rally game, which is kind of cool because I used to rally like in real life. So I'm kind of transitioning from like real life into the game mode.
You guys can come now.
Okay, so let's go and join Kim. So this is, again, I'm still getting used to this wonderful Interceptor cockpit. After many years, seeing a new cockpit is amazing. So Joe,
Yeah, it's
because
beautiful.
you are the first time now, playing in multiplayer, when you log in, correct, you choose Sparkle Rain system, and then it will automatically warp you to it. Are you able to see that when you try to take off?
Let's see.
So warping in PSVR
Yeah.
2 is still very impressive. Unfortunately, there is no headset vibration when we are in warp. You only get it when you are pulsing or entering the atmosphere. But the effects inside the new ship, the Interceptor ship, is really cool, because you have this new cockpit that have these red and white lightings appearing all the time. And it's really nice to go. So let's try to do a space encounter, and then we're gonna warp to the first base. So let me see if I can summon one quick space encounter. I had to farm a lot of these anomaly detectors. Okay, so let's pulse. Let's hopefully pulse, in the direction of Kim. I see her there. So this is a lush planet. It's a dumb bio, correct? Okay, let me see. Detecting. Opa. Okay, here we go. Oh my god. Okay, so what is this? I haven't seen this before. So I'm trying to practice some new photo mode sessions in VR, and I can't even find the word to describe what I'm looking at. Are you able to see this?
Plasmic accident.
Sorry?
It's a plasmic accident.
Oh, okay. So it's a plasma accident, but I can't still find the word to describe it because you have all these different kind of motions, and it's massive. Oh my god! I think I went inside it. I went inside it, and then everything moved for a few seconds, and I got scared like hell. I think I went so close, and then it just it just moved me on all different kind of directions. Yeah. I need to get a little bit closer to it and see if I can get. I see it crystal clear. So in this space in VR2, everything looks crystal clear, and I'm gonna try to take a shot of it. Unfortunately, taking photos when you are in your spaceship will just show like this. Oh, I can actually take a nice shot. I'm gonna try and take a nice shot and try to work on it later. So this is like two big explosions that got merged together, and they have a lot of random stuff inside it with a lot of different colors going out of it. It looks very, very cool. Okay, so let me head to Kim, and we say bye to our first space encounter. So the steampunk merchant, correct? Okay, let's see. We have. I'm having a little bit of trouble with the chat for today for some reason. Sometimes I get it, sometimes I don't get it. But Kim, how do you get? Where are reaching you? Correct. I wanted to ask you, how do you get an idea on what to build, correct? Like, you build a lot of different kind of unique bases. So can you tell us a little bit about the whole process? Like, where do you start and how does it go, and from start to finish, correct? How the whole process work with you?
Okay, well, ideas come to me for like what to build in a lot of different ways. Sometimes I dream about stuff. Or like for my steampunk airship, I took the round 12-sided floors that I like to build, and I flipped it vertical. And then I just kind of followed my intuition, and about a quarter of the way in, I figured out I was going to make a ship out of it. So I just kind of follow my nose after I get started. And if I'm not having the ideas pop in, then I usually go looking for some on Pinterest.
Oh, so do you actually dream a lot?
Oh yes, I have really cool adventure dreams all the time, and there's all different kinds of stuff I end up dreaming about. And of course, if I'm in the middle of a big build, I might dream about building something else, or sometimes I get ideas that way.
So this is a traveling merchant, correct? Which, one of the steampunk series. Joe, you have seen this build before for sure on Twitter, correct?
Yeah, I've seen photos of it, but I haven't seen it in real life, more or less.
Yeah. So
there's a whole interior too with two different parts. So
yeah, we'll get in. Let me just take a look to absorb the view, because I came here before a long time ago. I think I took a photo probably on flat screen, but you're seeing this very close to stand and move around. It's these builds that are close to actual big robots somehow really shake my feelings in VR. And I see all of these big birds flying around with the actual planets behind it as a ringed planet. It's really really nice to look at. Okay, so let's go inside, and why don't you give us a tour inside the traveling merchant, Kim? What do you think
so
about
there's
this build, Joe?
I think it's pretty amazing. I'm like really fascinated by the moving parts that are on the outside. That's really cool.
Let me go and take a big wider view in VR of this like 360 panoramic view. So if you guys take a look here from all of the different angles, this is... Hey Max, man, thank you for joining. I was starting to be concerned that I have a problem because it have been very quiet on the chat, but it just few people joined today. Oh yeah. This is very inspired by the house moving castle. Yeah, I think so. I think
You know
Kim,
what? I did not even know about Howl's Moving Castle when I built this. But people on Twitter informed me that it looked like it. So I went and checked out. I Googled it.
Yeah. Sorry, I didn't mean it's inspired by, but people who see this will always feel about, it's a very popular movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, take a look to these
I
guys
just hadn't seen it.
in 360. It's wonderful.
So there's a Gek that drives this thing. He's the wandering merchant. And
Is he like in the
my
cockpit or something like that?
pirate stories. Huh? This is his like merchandise that he has to sell, and his little office where he kind of does the deals and stuff. So people come in here.
Clever.
Notice we have a very large vat of Catanian whiskey over here.
So this is the driving seat, correct? From here, you can actually control the traveler.
It could be. It's just yeah. And then his personal apartment is upstairs, which is up this teleporter.
Okay, should we go up?
Yep.
Very good. Okay.
Uh-oh.
This is basically just his apartment.
Yeah. So this is very interesting because this is showing like it's just a damp planet, which should be part of a lush biome, but I think it's more of I forgot the name of this biome, but it's I think marsh.
Swamp planet.
Yeah, it's more of marsh biomes, which always give me this middle age feelings, correct? I expect all of see wizards coming out of here. So this is a personal room for the driver.
Yes, the guy who lives in it, and his bedroom is down this ladder.
Okay. I see a small toilet in here.
Oh yeah, I forgot about the bathroom.
Yep, the bedroom. Oh, I wish I can just have this as my own room.
It was very challenging to try to fit out an interior in here and make it make any sense, just because it was close quarters and I had to get inventive about how to do it.
It's very tight, but it's very well used. Go ahead, Joe.
Kim, do you do like any kind of like blueprint or sketching or anything like that before you start?
No, I've never sketched anything. Sometimes I'll.
Like, do you do like a floor plan and then build off of it, or are you just like kind of going by your whim, sort of?
I do usually start at the bottom of whatever it is and build upward.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like, I got the idea for this from some artwork that I saw on Pinterest.
Yeah.
And it actually, like, the way the No Man's Sky pieces are and stuff, it it was just kind of an inspiration. Like, it doesn't look exactly like it at all. I kind of went my own direction once I got the idea. So that's how this one went.
It looks amazing. I mean, I'm looking to it right now. I have this panoramic view in VR, and it's really, really very well detailed. I actually see the smoke coming out of the cemetery here. It's really well detailed, correct? So okay, let's move to the next one. I think I'm just gonna jump from here because it's very tight inside and people keep pushing me.
That's me.
Yeah. So
Get out of the way. That's what I was trying to say.
I am out of the way. So now Kim's gonna disconnect and join her next save. We are gonna go back to the anomaly, and Joe, I'm gonna ask you, correct? Do you have?
Yeah.
You mentioned about the art school. You mentioned about couple of the other stuff that you do inside the game. What about your hobbies? Do you have some hobbies? And I need to stop here because, again, this is always my favorite part of
the
playing
asteroids
No
one?
Man's Sky. Yes, I see the asteroids, man. The asteroids field. Every time I take off and with the vibration in the headset and I just take a look to these massive asteroid fields, I just can't think about what I was trying to say, because this was my dream, like seeing this stuff, these unique asteroids with their different shapes and the huge amount of them with the lightings and the HDR. I think for me it's amazing. And now because the new ship, and I didn't know about this, I actually didn't really very well read the release notes, but the new interceptor ship allow me to have a complete hovering, so I can completely stop right now. You see, I'm not moving at all, and I can actually take a very close look from around me, correct, from inside the ship. I'm actually moving my head very close to the window, and I can get very close down to the asteroid. All the other ships, if you remember, Joe, when I try to get close to the asteroids, I will always crash in them because
Crash into them?
yes.
Then they'll blow up and disappear, right?
Yes, I cannot completely stop, correct? All the other ships cannot completely stop. Only now the interceptor ship can actually completely stop. Like, I'm actually, you see here, I'm 0 US in my screen. I am completely stopped and I'm very close to the asteroid. So yeah, as Max was saying, go ahead.
I think that's, for me, I think that's like one of the key things about this Interceptor update is like whoever came up at Hello Games with the idea of like hovering, or like why can't a starship hover, that was like really brilliant, I think.
Yes, it's interesting and I really love it. And Max was saying that the No Man's Sky came with a lot of stuff. I think it was if I'm not wrong, the big fighter update, endurance, is where it introduced a lot of different shapes to to the update. But I think it's one of the best updates. I think I really love Interceptor compared to all of the other previous updates. But I think endurance is one of the best that we have seen last year, especially for the space aspects. So what is your personal hobbies, man? That's what I was gonna ask you before. Is there anything you do additional to?
Let me break in and tell you guys that I'm there, but I couldn't join your save because you weren't showing up in my multiplayer. So y'all may have to quit out to come.
Oh, okay.
If you don't see me. Okay.
Okay, we're gonna quit and join Kim save, and Joe, you can tell us, a little bit about your personal hobbies. What else do you do additional to playing games?
I pretty much like only game. That is pretty much like my main hobby. I think the purchase of the PS5 was just like a really it just really opened like so many avenues for different games and stuff like that. So now basically I spend most of my time gaming for sure.
Oh,
I think
so
it's my main hobby too.
is PS5 your first? I mean, are you always in the Sony world, like PS5, PS4 and stuff like this, or how did you
Yeah,
start
like I
with
don't have.
gaming?
Oh man, how did I start with gaming? I started with like going over to my friend's house and playing Pong. That's how I started gaming.
Oh my god!
Awesome.
Yeah. I think the first real console that I picked up was like a Nintendo 64, I think.
Oh, Nintendo 64. That's interesting.
Yeah. And then I moved over to the PS1, and yeah, from then I've just like stayed with Sony all the time.
Okay, so this is an aggressive sentinel planet, and I think it looks very cool. I think it's a grassy planet, and I see Max was saying that Tetris is his first game. Bella, if you're still on, what was your first game, man? And Kim, what about you? What was your first game that you have ever played? Do you remember?
So when computers first got games, I had this like Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit type thing that I loved. This was like a really long time ago, and I was still a kid. But recently, I only got into gaming again when I started playing Fortnite, which was it must have been in 2019 or 2020. I don't remember which. And then I found No Man's Sky was the second thing I found. And your ship just looked totally awesome coming in there.
Yeah, this is popular that pretty much broke the internet. The steampunk air ship, correct? What is the formal name for this space, Kim?
Oh, that was it. Steampunk airship. That's it.
Okay, perfect. So, I'm just gonna take a look, a panoramical view of this, of this ship, because this one I came in flat screen.
Sorry, I've lost all focus again, so I'm coming in.
I'm trying to take a look to this and it's really a sight to behold.
Whoa.
So this is a flying ship, and you have the actual smoke coming from the back, and you have the actual fan in the front, and it is really big with
This thing is huge.
Yeah, and I see the birds trying to go inside. Sometimes they get stuck in it. The big amount of birds. This is a very nice looking planet, and again, one of the most wonderful stuff that I have seen in VR. I mean, that's really, when we're speaking about wonders, I think this is where this is what I really expected to see. It's massive. So we'll take a tour inside in a few minutes, but Kim, I wanted to ask you, what is you have been building for quite some long. I think you have maybe hundreds of different builds. Some were completed, some are still in progress. So what was some tips and tricks you want to share with new players who just gonna start playing No Man's Sky, or start building in No Man's Sky? I know there is a lot of detailed guides on the internet, like Bumblebee and stuff like this, but from your own experience, what is the critical stuff that you want to share with new players who want to start building in No Man's Sky? One day, hopefully, they can reach your status as one of the most praised builders in the No Man's Sky community.
Okay, well, come over here to the edge of the landing pad, and I'm going to demonstrate some stuff.
Perfect. Okay. I'm here.
Okay. So I'm just going to, first of all, I want to tell new players to get used to using the build camera. It really, sometimes if you want to place a part, it doesn't automatically want to go where you want it. So you kind of have to find your sweet spot for using the building camera, but it is so worth it. Like, it's a really fantastic tool. Hello Games just really thought this build camera out all the way, and it's usually really terrific to use. So that would be one of my main tips for newbies. And then also, I'm going to show you how to do a basic wire glitch, because that's really useful. Like, if you want to flip something upside down or place something in a place where it won't normally go, then you can use this to kind of place something anywhere. Let's see. First, you choose your part that you want to use. Like, I'm going to glitch a candelabra bloom onto the ceiling here. So I'm on Xbox, so I press Y to place a wire. So you just toggle the wire, whichever system you're using, and then hit place so that the wire is sitting at the right angle. And then to glitch it, you hit Y and right toggle at the same time. So there's your candelabra bloom. And then you go over and hit the down key to get the placement mode changed. Oh, I just messed it up. Hold on. Okay, and then you hit the place, which on Xbox is right trigger. And then now you have a dangling light that's not supposed to be there. And it's just really useful for placing things where they wouldn't normally go using normal methods. And that's just a simple one. That's pretty much the only glitch I use a lot. I'm not a big technical builder. I don't do a whole ton of the really super, 18 steps to get one part in type glitching.
You know what? I think that those two things are probably the most important thing to learn when you're building, especially the build camera. I use it all the time. And I really use that wire glitch all the time too.
Oh, cool. Is that how you do your things in a circle? I love the things you build.
The kaleidoscopes? Yeah, that is exactly how I do it. It's basically all wire glitch. That's it.
Okay. Cool. I might get you to demo that for me sometime. Okay, you guys talk a little bit about.
Oh, did we?
Yeah,
oh, well.
we.
That's why you got a. That's why you got a jetpack.
I need you to finish one of your builds, man, so we can actually have it here. We were so close to choose one of your bases, but for some reason you don't finish them. Why don't you finish one of them?
What?
So, no, I'm speaking about Joe, correct?
That's basically why I joined this group, so that you guys would come over and finish everything that I started.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be great.
We'll try to inspire you to do that, but
I think what happens is I learned a brand new technique, or I see something in another build that is just really impressive, and I go about it. Yeah, I go about trying it, and that's usually in a brand new build. So I end up either completely destroying my build, I will delete bases like crazy, or I will essentially just abandon a build and start something new. Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we need to start touring the inside of the ship, and I think we need to take a teleporter to go there. Apella mentioned something about, Armstead computer. I have never heard about this. Have you guys heard about an Armstead computer by any chance? What is that? I have no idea what is that. So this is where Bella started to play. So I'm inside here. So thank you for sharing, Kim. I think there's a lot of, as I mentioned, helpful guides, but getting some of these valuable tips from you, I think hopefully will help new players who are just starting to play. Build cameras, I think, is critical thing, and
Wow.
how to do that. So why don't you take us on a tour, and while you're doing this, let's touch a little bit about as a civilization. I know, Joe, you are not part of any civilization. You enjoy traveling alone. You don't play much in multiplayer anyway. Hopefully you will start being more interesting in multiplayer. No Man's Sky actually have minimum multiplayer mechanism, but somehow the civilizations were able to turn these basic multiplayer functionalities to actual metaverses, actual communities, and some of them are extremely advanced. Some of them are just groups of people who love to spend time together. We had many of them before, and we'll have more and more every episode. But Kim, you are part of the Catalan Empire like me, so why did you join the Catalan Empire? And while you're touring us, just tour us a little bit and then tell us a little bit more about the Catalan Empire, its history, why you joined it, and what you like about it.
Okay. Well, this is the restaurant kitchen, and it's got seating all around. And then if you walk through here, we'll be on the way to the bridge, and we're passing over the top of the atrium. So
Yeah.
I knew Cash from the founder of the Catanian Empire from Twitter, and I also knew Tina and had seen her wonderful artwork pictures that she does. And I liked both of them a lot. So when I was always playing by myself, always. And then I started looking at the different civilizations, and I really picked that one just because I knew some of the people from Twitter, and I liked the way they try to be helpful to everybody and basically peaceful. So I decided to join that one, and that has really been a good fit for me. I really like it. Lots of friendly people, lots of really, really good builders who have inspired me a lot and to kind of push myself and my skills. Yeah.
Perfect.
There
And,
are
I
I have to say, this community, like No Man's Sky, has like an amazing amount of creative players in it.
I think
It really
so,
does.
yeah.
Oh man, people who are builders are like phenomenal.
Yeah, I mean, there's just so many amazing builders. Joe, you're in my way. Okay.
Kim, can you please talk about lighting and how important lighting is for you? Every time I go into one of your bases, I'm just like, oh, I'm looking at your lighting and I'm going like, oh, I'm going to steal this. I'm going to steal that.
Yeah. So I love to light up my builds because otherwise everything's a bit dark and shadowy. So, but the colors are so nice, and the everything. I just want it to be visible. So I try to save a whole lot of piece count, like out of the 3,000 limit, just to do lighting. Like I would say a quarter to a third of all my build parts are light, and I try to kind of place them strategically to highlight whatever I want.
Can you talk about your process? Like, what are you basically? You will do the build first, and then you will go back and light, or are you thinking about lighting as you're building?
I usually light at the end, but sometimes if I'm in a weird position or it's going to be hard to get back in it, I'll go ahead and light it as I go.
Yeah. This build is really stunning. Like, it is incredibly, like, I've seen photos of yours of this build on Twitter, but the photos do nothing compared to this actual build.
Yeah, this one I think is fun to visit because there's just so many different kinds of spaces. Okay, if you guys follow me, I'll take you down to the atrium. level.
Well, just 1 second, correct? Joe, man, you are one hell of interviewer, man. I think you should be co-hosting the show with me every week, correct? I like your
No,
questions.
I think that is a tremendous mistake on your part.
Yeah.
No, it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's good though.
So
He has a nice voice too.
Max was just commenting about, the fueling line. He mentioned it's a very nice touch, and this is pretty much the main driving captain room, correct? This is where you can chart,
Right.
the place you want to travel to. And I just want to comment. Do you guys see this? This is the wind is actually impacting these flags, correct? Do you see the wind moving them around
Yeah.
here? Yeah, this is we know that we don't have actual physic mechanics inside No Man's Sky, but it's really giving you these vibes that you're an actual airship, and the way
I love
that
to add.
yeah
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
yeah, I was just gonna try to say that the ways that we mix technologies with the specific base parts, the lightings, the overall vibes from the rings around here, and the planets, and how the actual wood, components and the structure.
Yeah, it's great.
It's just all fits together somehow. I think it's genius, to be honest.
I try to do that on purpose. Like I scout out like just the right place. Once I have an idea what I want to build, I try to think of like, okay, where would this look terrific, and what kind of place and what would feel right. And
I think that's really important, and it's something that I've noticed a lot more is there seems to be like a lot more builders that are taking the environment into consideration as to, either building things around structures or building things around the planet features and stuff like that. I think that's
Yeah,
really
I
important to
love
keep that
seeing
in
that.
mind.
I
Yeah.
love seeing that because then the build looks like it belongs there. Like it's integrated.
Oh, do you guys see the frigates that just jumped in there? That's cool. Through the glass roof. So beautiful. And
It was so funny when I was building this. When I very first started, like it wasn't even as big as it is now.
yeah.
One of those beautiful explorer frigates came through, and I took a picture to see like how big my build was compared to the frigate, and the frigate just trashed it.
Oh, really? Yeah.
And I was like, oh, but then by the time I was done, it happened again. And I was like, okay, I'm there,
You know what is also like a total bonus of like this session is like we are in both of your builds, we've actually gotten like daytime and nighttime, and that's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Max and Bella is mentioning that they believe the environment is actually part of the build now. It's as important as pretty much everything else, and they are both, one of the also top builders in the game. So they really appreciate the work. So this is a kitchen. So I think we need to see the rest of the ship, and probably we're gonna wrap up. We're approaching, I think we just passed the 1 hour mark. So this is the kitchen, correct? And I'm actually very hungry. I really wish there is a way that I can actually just take this food. I can actually put my hands inside the stuff, but yeah, I still
Okay, well,
can't
come over
eat.
here to the teleporters.
Okay, and let's just take a look at the back.
Okay.
This is like the resting area. It also have
Yeah,
this
it's just
mats,
like a hangout.
and people can just hang out around here.
And
With a
you
lot
can
of
take your food
decoration.
and eat in there too as part of the restaurant.
Yeah, nice. So you can take our food and then go all in the bag. I really love how everything is just planned very well. Everything is just fitting together. Okay, so which one should I take, the left or the right?
Left, the number 2.
Hang on a second. I just fell off of something.
Oh, there is one and two. Okay, perfect. I'm
So
down.
if you're facing the short one, it's the one on the left, number 2.
Yeah.
Yes, there is actually number 2 written on it. Did you notice?
Yeah, got it. Yeah, hey, how you doing?
That's a nice touch.
So we're down below where we were.
Oh,
This
wow.
is just kind of another hangout room with like a lot of good views. Like you could sit there and chat with your friends or whatever. And this, I decided it needed to have a huge atrium just because I like that
nice.
sort of thing. And then if you come through here, this is where the guest rooms are. Like, in here, there's one style.
Nice.
And across the hall, there's a different type. But they have really cool views out the sides.
Yeah.
And part of the fun of this build was that I ended up having to use walls and floors kind of flipped.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, and
that's
I love
actually
these
quite difficult too.
Openings. You said what?
I think, flipping the walls and stuff within an interior build, that's like really difficult to do. I find
it is.
I'm constantly getting frustrated by like trying to get them perfect. So you did a great job in here for sure.
Oh, thank you. And the way I did it, everything snapped off that central big 12-sided thing I built. So, I mean,
right.
It was just figuring out what parts to use to make it look right, really.
Right.
This is
I like the glass floor is cool too. That's smart.
Yeah.
This actually looks very interesting. I mean, I think it's one of the hardest things that I have seen, how everything is actually, connecting together. I'm looking all the way up, and unfortunately I'm getting some tracking issues, but it just looks, I don't think it was easy. Looks very, very complex, to be honest. It's very, very complex from the inside. There's just all different kind of rotations and snapping and and it's just.
I'm so happy I got finished with it without hitting the build limit.
Yeah, there is. I think it's one of the most complex things I have seen so far, because there is just different levels, different layers, and I just can't even get my head around how this even was built. It just looks enormous and very complicated. A huge amount of different stuff, and they're all
It
snapping
really
together.
wasn't that hard. I mean, it only took me a couple of days.
Did you build from like the centerpiece out? Explain the process of how you went about building.
Usually I do a floor plan and go up, but for this one, I didn't even know this was going to be a ship when I started building. What I did was I built this thing in the middle.
Yeah.
This wall, I usually like to build floors like that, start with a hexagon and then go out from that, and you end up with a nice roundish kind of building. And I was like, well, what if I flip that vertical? So basically all I did was glitch one of these. I just built plain walls all the way up here until I figured out how high it needed to be. And then I just wire glitched one of these triangle pieces vertical. And then I just snapped everything from there. And so I started with that because I just wanted to flip the floor up and see how it looked. And I was like, well, this is kind of neat. And then I just kind of kept building around and experimenting. And then I decided it was going to be a ship. So then I went from there.
Perfect.
I like it. Yeah.
So it's just an experiment that worked out.
Yeah. I think most of the builders, most of them don't really have a full 100% idea of what's gonna be the outcome when they start building. Is that correct in your case, both of you guys? Because Joe, you also build a little bit, but as I mentioned, you just sometimes give up in the middle, correct?
I kind of I would do the same kind of thing. Sometimes I might start off by complete accident. The same thing that Kim was talking about, just trying different techniques and then really discovering, I could really use this and building out from it. So it's really, really rare that I put down, for instance, all the flooring and then I work out from that. It's usually something I love this technique, or this looks cool, or how can I exploit this part? And Yeah, then I work out from that way.
Oh, interesting. And Kim, do you always have, mostly have a specific idea what's going to be the outcome, or you just start and then you just go with the flow with some high level idea in your mind?
So I just explained how this one happened, and this was just an experiment that I ended up building a ship out of.
Yes.
But the last thing we went to, the Steampunk Wandering Merchant, I had found a piece of artwork. It's like steampunky kind of land vehicle, just an artist rendition of it on Pinterest. And I thought, whoa, what if I could make something like that? You know, so that was kind of the basic idea. And then I just kind of, you know, when I get to find the right place, I usually try to kind of look at the different angles, like where should be the front. You know, like if I'm going to take a picture of this thing, what do I want it to look like in the background and all that kind of stuff. And then I'll take, I'll try to figure out dimensions. Like I might build like just a whole bunch of walls in a square and then start marking stuff out, like where you know, like what height I think it should be, what width, you know, and stuff like that. So that one I had a clear idea of, like I wanted some type of steampunk vehicle, but I didn't really know what it was going to look like until I was done.
Perfect. Thank you for sharing. I think, guys, we are approaching, the end of the stream. Is there anything else, Kim, you want to show us around here? I see there is still three.
No, I think we've been through it all.
Perfect.
Unless you want to go fly up top and look at the bubbles, but that's up
Can
to
we
you.
do that? How?
Yeah,
let's do it.
Back up there.
From 3?
No. You have to go back to the landing pad.
Okay. So how can we go back then?
Go up the hill. Use the one that has the ship logo, the teleporter.
Okay.
Right next to the one that says 2.
Okay. Yep, ship teleporter. Oh, so the ship logo is not just for, for fun. It's
Not
actually
just for
for
art.
taking us back to our ship. Oh, that's interesting. A very nice touch. Okay, let's take one last look
Oh, okay.
from the sky to the bubbles, and I'm gonna stop my ship completely beside it and just look to these guys. Wow. I think I can just completely stop and go to, oh wow, that was the interceptor ship, was the lighting. Now the ship is moving, even so I have it, hovered, but I think the photo mode is a little bit bugged. So it's showing 0 US, but it's still moving a little bit. But it looks so cool. Looks so cool. Let me see if I can just, edit a little bit and go to the morning. Abella loves really the fantasy of the building. Max really likes the idea. I think everyone have seen this, love it, and now with the
that's
interceptor
cool.
ship coming close. Wow. This is
From up here on the roof too, you really get the feeling of like the piping and the steampunk nature of it. It's cool.
okay. Now I'm gonna try to land because I think I'm gonna get attacked soon. So I think that's pretty much it for me, guys, today. I really would like to thank you for joining me for today. It was one very interesting session. Thank you, Kim. Thank you, Joe. Oh, I see the sun rising behind the mountain. The sunsets in VR are always wonderful to see. Especially if it's coming from behind the mountain. So again, thank you guys for taking some time, and thank you guys, joining for the chat or watching this later. Really appreciate you taking the time to joining us today. So yeah, I think this is pretty much it. Joe, Kim, again, I hope I'll see you guys here. Probably I'm gonna keep the first number one as for the Catalan Empire. Next week we're gonna have a special session mainly focused on the Royal Space Society civilization. So tune in for this for next week. And yeah, I think that's it. Thank you guys. Thank you for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Goodbye.